Ow. We did one of these just a few months ago, but we gotta do it again now because things are bad.
Things are bad. Yeah, I didn't think we'd have to do one so soon, but here we
We
are.
literally did one 2 months ago.
Ugh,
2 months ago.
it's terrible. Here we are again.
And here we are again. It's like, what the is going on here?
They want us to be sad.
Real sad hours.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Season Lang Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Docow and Ladium.
Hello.
This is episode 333.
Ooh.
Yeah, all threes.
Oops, all threes.
Oops, all threes. And it's time for us to say goodbye to Love Live School Idol Festival All Stars.
I feel like the announcement came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really kind of did, because I don't know if a lot of people were like expecting this to shut down as soon as it was. Like, it's weird.
It is weird because it felt like they weren't planning for it to happen, and then it just happened.
Yeah.
But we both signed in and we're like, what? What is this
Excuse me?
announcement? Excuse me?
It's a lot
What?
of announcements. Wait, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Oh no.
So yeah, they recently announced that they are shutting the game down on June 30th, 2023 as a way to roll everything into School Idol Festival 2.
Which we still don't have a global release date for.
No. We
So
do
there's
not.
that.
We do not. So yeah, I figure we're just gonna do what we do with School Idol Festival. We're just gonna talk about the game and our thoughts, experiences, all that fun stuff we've had with it over the past 3 years, 3.5 years
right.
for some of us.
We probably don't need to rehash the conversation about preservation because obviously what we said about School Idol Festival
It still applies.
still applies here.
Yeah.
But also man, this sucks for game preservation, but well,
Oofa doofa. Oofa doofa doofa doofa.
oofa doofa.
But yeah, so I guess if you were unaware of what School Idol Festival All Stars was, um, it was a rhythm RPG game that I guess they described it as, spin off of School Idol Festival, mostly used to be as a story for the Nijigasaki gals, as this was basically the game they were going to get introduced in and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially that's kind of what this game really was. It was like a game to show the story for them and also have a much different gameplay than just regular School Idol Festival. So it gave you a little bit of variety between the two games.
And it was
They
also
were
a
both
chance
active.
for Muse, Aqua, and Nijigasaki to all interact with each other too.
Correct, yes. That is also true.
So that was a big selling point.
Mm-hmm. They announced this game back at the Tokyo Game Show in 2017. And they basically were like, yeah, this is going to lead into this and everything, blah, 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 blah. Came out on September 26, 2019 in Japan, and then February 25th, 2020, and globally, and then the pandemic happened. So clearly this is what caused it. That is not true.
That year I got a new phone for my birthday, specifically with knowing that this game was coming out
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to have a lot of space and I wanted it to be a more powerful phone for the game.
Yeah. Because you definitely needed that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this game was well received at first, and then just over the years somehow got weird controversy just sprung up out of nowhere for it, and then now as people are giving their eulogies for it or talking about oh, I hated this gameplay system and everything and all this sort of stuff, I was like, what? What are you
What?
talking about? Where have you been with this?
Yeah, and I mean we talked about when we talked about the seasons, but there was that backlash after season 2
Two, yeah.
that was not pretty.
Nah, look, the people. I mean, we said this back when we talked about that season and everything, but like the
People who didn't
people
like that were cowards.
people who didn't like that are idiots,
They're
plain and simple.
cowards.
Like, it's just so stupid to get upset about a story introducing conflicts and villain characters and things like that. Like, oh no, boo hoo, I can't deal with this. Oh no, like, shut the up, you dumb piece
Yeah.
of
Yeah, for real. And like they were people are having to like say like don't take it out on their voice actresses because like um people were being real rude to well Diver Diva basically
Mm-hmm. It's
because
so
they're like
stupid.
these girls are bad. Wah, 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 wah. It's like no. Did we read the same season?
If you are complaining about that, you need to go back to school and learn some just anything that revolves around understanding what a story is. Go back to first grade and learn how to read.
I also think that you know, as the kids say, they should go touch grass
Yes, also that. Go to the
because like
beach.
it's not
Go
that
to the beach right
serious.
now.
It's not that serious.
No.
Especially like the fact that they had to tell people like don't take this out on the voice actress is like what the
People are stupid is the problem.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Every day something new is happening that I'm just like, why is humanity still here?
So
Just
we
give
can
the world to
suffer.
cats.
Wow.
Meow.
But yeah, that was a big thing, and then I feel like it definitely affected the storytelling
Oh
in ways
yeah.
because just like after that season, everything kind of just went downhill from there, and like the last couple of seasons in particular, just been
Milk
nothing,
toast.
just nothing really happening, just bare bone storytelling. And it's been a real bummer to see that because like those first two seasons were really good and they
They
started
were
off
really good.
extremely well, and then it's just like blah, just
Nothing.
nosedived into the ground.
Yep. Yeah, it's been pretty lame. But I will say that All Stars was a good way for me to like really get to know the Niji gals and
Yeah.
like that in conjunction with the anime made me super duper love Niji.
Mm-hmm. Which is basically what they wanted you to
They
come
wanted
out of
us to
this.
love Niji.
Yeah, they wanted you to come out of this with that essentially.
Yeah, yeah. No, it makes sense. And you know, they did a good job. It worked on me. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
work on everybody, but it worked on me.
Yeah.
Um, I know there was also some like weird controversy that came out with them having like 12 members,
Mm-hmm.
which is also weird. Um,
Now Leo's doing the same thing essentially.
yeah, yeah. I mean, go figure. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Rebirth has some bangers.
Also, not
So
everything has to be the same.
there's that too. Yeah. Like, hey, switching things up sometimes, not bad.
It's pretty
Not bad.
good.
It's pretty good actually.
Pretty
I'm
good.
into it. Into it. And then, you know, we got some like international rep because we've got our Australian New Yorker
Yep.
who can now do English on streams. We've got Chinese on the streams. I think Mandarin specifically. Am I getting that wrong?
I think that's right.
I can't remember. Like, I think I don't remember. I don't remember. Anyway, some version of Chinese. So you know, we got some international rep, and you get funny stuff like them reacting to Toy Doll and going on dates. None of this is an All Stars, but
No, but that's a good clip.
yeah, it was a really good clip. um, but that's something that has been really, really cool about this. Like I said, it really made me like Niji, but also like I think that those gals, the three new gals, are like insanely well written. Like they're super fun.
Hmm.
And I think that the voice actresses themselves are also a really good addition. I like them quite a lot.
Yeah, like they really add to the overall like dynamics of the group as a whole, and just like even just by themselves are a whole lot of fun, and they really just like adding them to the story as it made it much more interesting than if it was just here's nine solo gals coming together and doing their own thing.
Right, right. Well, and the thing that's so disappointing though is that like there could have been so much done with them if they weren't like so risk adverse after the backlash of two.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. You know what else is a bummer?
What's that?
I'm gonna miss the 3D stages, even though many of the songs didn't have them.
Yeah, it was neat to see like a bunch of those songs done in 3D, which I understand probably why this would have been a hard thing to do, just because like animating all of this, all of those songs, like animating the choreography so it's like spot on with what you see in the show or on stage and everything is
Mhm.
a lot of work probably.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
So like that thing that's probably not an easy thing to do, and maybe one of the reasons why they are shutting this game down per se. Um, but it was such a cool thing to see and everything, and just like how 1-to-1 they were able to pull it off and everything, and like it was really cool also to see like when you would see a song come in and like before it would be performed on stage, so you get like a preview of like how it's going to be performed and everything.
Right,
Like all that
right.
stuff was really neat. But yeah, like I feel like it was kind of a double-edged sword for them. It was like, here's a very cool feature, but also this is a lot more work than just doing beat maps for songs.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that a lot though, because I really liked that. And then,
Mhm.
you had memes of like how many characters are we gonna have perform Starlight?
Yeah.
Like that was a big meme when it first came out. Like, hey, let's have Ruby do this. I'm like, oh no, Ruby, Ruby, please. But yeah, I mean that's honestly like one of the features that I like the most about All Stars is seeing the performances in there and like all the outfits that you can get,
Yeah.
even though they don't want to give me the two rubies that I want.
No, don't, not allowed.
Terrible. Terrible.
Can't have fun.
Um,
No fun and gotcha.
no fun and gotcha. No, no fun. Um, but yeah, I am really bummed to lose that aspect of it. Like I don't dislike beat maps per se, but like it was so cool.
Yeah, and once this goes away, there's not going to be like a 3D game representation of Love Live out there anymore.
No, so like I'm interested to see what they'll do like for some of the like Niji songs now with the performances. Because usually now what they do for the songs is have the performance from All Stars play behind them.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll even like change that at all or anything, or
I don't know. I mean, like, what are they gonna do for future songs?
oh, for future songs, I guess they'll just do whatever like video thing they would do for like other songs
Hmm.
that maybe don't have a performance, or for like how they do like the other groups essentially.
Yeah, it's a bummer though.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, one of the big things about this game that was also maybe not necessarily a fan favorite was team building.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, people didn't like that.
It was definitely more complicated than it needed to be.
It took me a long time to figure it out.
Yeah, because there's not really good tutorials in the game to really explain what you need to do.
Hmm.
It's kind of just like you gotta fend for yourself and figure it out, and even then, it's still like you're maybe not gonna have this right. But good luck.
Yeah, and I mean, some songs you have to build like specific teams to actually get through it, and then some
Hmm.
songs you can just brute force it with like a main team, which is what I did for most of the songs.
Yeah.
Um, because what you're technically supposed to do is like do the like color coded teams. Like if it's an elegant song, you want to have an elegant team. And I was like, or alternatively, no, I'll just have a very beefy team and do everything with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unless it needed like heals, in which case I would have my healing team to come in.
It was just
But I
harder
think
to do like color coded teams and make them good because there's 6 color elements now compared to the 3 in regular School Idol Festival.
right, right. And I mean like the gacha wasn't always super nice.
No.
So trying to come up with like the teams that are good enough to pass these songs that have the skills that you need and like the free ones that they give you just aren't going to cut it sometimes, most of the time, honestly.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, that part was not fun. But I also did think something interesting. There was something interesting with the team building because like our main teams are very different in how they function,
Mm-hmm.
but we still are able to like get through the songs, which is really cool that like there are different ways to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, because I have like my SP side strategy, um, and then I have my main strategy, which is a skill healer and then 2 voltage folks, and then my blast side strategy is just all like appeal boost and tech boost and stamina boost and all that stuff. And then you have like a healer team, a voltage team, and an SP team, right?
I have like my main is 2 voltages and a healer.
Mm-hmm.
I have the other one, which is like an SP/shielder team,
I
and then
mean,
the
I
other.
think that we have the same because we have the Kasumi who's a shielder.
Yes. I think I have another card though that does the shielding.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Maybe I don't remember. And then the other squad is just kind of just like, here's some people.
Oh, so I guess we don't do it that differently.
So like I think I think they're kind of like their skill and voltage, but like they're kind of just like here's the leftovers. But yeah, that's kind of. But I usually just switch around between like that main squad and the SP squad mostly. Like that's kind of just like the two I switch between for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still get healing and I get shielding from both, and I can gain SP super quickly with the one, and then just the other team will just be big scores essentially.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. Um, and then yeah, my other one's just boosters.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I have the one like turbo healing team, in which case I have SP and then my volt/skill heal. Um, and then like a turbo Fez party heal side strategy. Which I guess is another thing that we should probably bring up is that like, man, the power creep in this game was real.
Yeah, it started off okay, and then like by the time where we are now, it's just like gone whoop, straight up.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously they wanted to appeal to the people who spend
The
money. The
whales.
whales. We neither of us are whales
No,
because we are not.
broke.
Yeah, I mean we are broke. We are definitely broke.
We're not broke by gotcha though.
We're not broke by gotcha. I mean, like people spend like thousands
Yeah,
on this, and I'm like, how? It's
yeah.
they know that this is virtual cards, right?
Well, you gotta get your favorite,
I mean, I want my favorite, but like I also want to eat.
which is more important, clearly.
I want to pay my rent. I want to give my kitties food. But I guess I also don't have like that addictive personality to be
You
like,
also don't
well,
have you money.
yeah, that's true. It's just unfortunate. I wish I
Yeah,
had you money. I do so many wild
that
things
makes it
with
a little
you
bit
money.
different.
It does, it does. But we are not whales, and so yeah, once the party and Fez power creep started happening, it was like, ooh, it was rough.
Like the super difficulty songs are just like
Absolutely
those
not.
those don't exist in my mind.
Nope. I tried one once and I was like, oh God, no, absolutely not. Like you have to spend money to get through those.
Yeah, and even some of like the harder songs they put in there are just kind of like, nah, I'm
Mm-mm.
fine.
Like there are a few that like you get through an appeal chance and it does like a ton of damage to you, but like you can't shield against it. It's like, what am I supposed to do on this? What are you trying to pull off here? And I'm sure there's one specific card out there that you can tank through it, but I don't know that card and I definitely don't have it.
Yeah,
But that's kind of how it was with all the challenge songs, was that like there was one card that would be released around the same time as the song, and it's like that's the card you need to get through it.
and I just don't care enough to deal with that.
Nope, same. I definitely do not care enough and I didn't bother. Um and I've taken a note out of your book and like some of the things I've just stopped caring about. Like there's an event happening right now where there's like you play songs for voltage points and you told me once like, oh, I don't do that. And I looked at the
Yeah, I haven't
rewards and
done that in like a year or two.
I looked at the rewards. I was like, why have I been doing this?
The rewards
It's
aren't
not worth
good. It's
it.
just yeah,
No.
it's just stuff you already get regardless. So it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, so I stopped doing that. Um, but I think the strength of this game, besides like the 3D performances and everything, was the like interactions and the stories with the characters from like the different groups and even like girls in the same group interacting with each other. Like you get to see much in the same way we talked about with School Idol Festival. You get to see different sides of characters. It's really exciting to see.
Yeah, which I again is a very good thing that these games are able to do
Hmm.
because, like you said, like it gives you these different sides of characters and also just like different character interactions that you're not going to see within the shows or anything or the source material and all that sort of stuff. So you get all of these new kinds of stories that you normally wouldn't be able to see.
And it was kind of the birth of you as well. Because
Yeah, kind
you
of.
you you have the like player character who is an actual character in the game,
Mm-hmm.
which ended up being you in a way, but like not one to one.
Right. Like they take some aspects of that character in All Stars and then implemented it into you, but then you kind of just becomes her own thing because of just how that story
Right.
unfolds.
Because you would need her to be her own thing.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right.
Also, like, bless you for giving us bro you.
Yeah, it's real
It's
good.
real good. I don't know. I mean, like, it's a bummer. Like, I've played this game every day since it came out, and I feel like it's been weird already not having Skull Idol Festival,
Mm-hmm.
but now they're taking the other one away from me, and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do?
I guess we should have probably seen, in a way, seen this coming because of the fact that like Liella became such a big thing, and then like they never put them in this game.
And we thought that they were going to when they made the Skull Idol Festival 2 announcement. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
thought that that event was leading up to them adding them in.
Yeah, and then like it came and passed, and then that never was a thing, and then it still never was a thing. So like, it was one of those things you just look at and go like, that's very odd. Like, why wouldn't you
Mm.
put them in this other game as well? That's become a big thing, and like use that as a push for this game as well. And I guess the thing was because like, hey, we're going to make Squall Festival 2, and Squall Festival 2 is kind of doing similar things to what All Stars does. So like, is this game really needed in the long run?
Does it do the character interactions from the different groups?
Uh not. I mean, there's not been a ton of story in that game so far,
Mm.
and they kind of have been. I feel like separate out. It's more
Mm.
School Festival than School Festival All Stars in that respect.
That's a bummer.
Um, but I guess there's nothing saying that they can't do that.
No, you're right. I guess one thing we probably should have brought up that we haven't at all is the switch over. Um, like the team switched
Yeah.
over like
Um,
halfway through.
yeah, so K-Lab was developing this game from the launch all the way up to 2022, like the end of 2021 into like the very beginning of 2022, when then they were just yanked from the game, and then this other developer came in and basically was the developer for the rest of the game
And that's
from
Minit.
the beginning of 2022 till now, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never really clear why that was a thing. It was just
Nope.
kind of was a thing, and then it happened. Um, like K-Lab, like they finished up School Idol Festival, obviously, but they're not the developers of School Idol Festival 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like this weird breakup between them and Bushy Road. So like no one really understood why it was a thing or anything. But then like I don't know, the last year and change of School Idol Festival All Stars hasn't been great. So maybe those go hand in hand with each other. I don't know.
Well, I think Caleb had some of the negative too.
Yeah.
Um, and the thing is that like people have been saying like, oh, our All Stars is dead since like that announcement was made. Like everybody said it was going to get shut down when that happened. That like MyNet was brought in just specifically to shut it down. It's like I don't think so. But that's something that I kind of find wild that people have been talking about like for years that this game is going to die,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't die until now.
Yeah. It didn't die until there was like out of nowhere, like, hey, we're done. And it's like, oh,
We're done.
okay. I guess.
Yay. Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. But it was really weird when the transition first happened because like I was so used to signing in and hearing the K Lab
Mm-hmm.
like bits from the gals when they logged in, and it was like silence.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Well then,
It's a
ripperoni and
weird thing.
pepperoni.
Weird thing.
Very, very weird. But yeah, with the power creep and like the transition in developers and the way that the story's been milk toast, like the only thing that's really been keeping me in so far is that like, man, the art and the cards and the outfits are cute.
Yeah, and it's got a good selection of like songs to play and everything. So like,
Yeah,
it's
and it
not
has
like
autoplay.
yeah, that's true. It's not like the game itself was going bad in terms of just
Right.
like playing it or anything. It was just like it was in this weird position of just like the story is not great. I don't know if people are just getting burnt out on the game or stuff like that, but just like it was in a weird spot for like I feel like the last year or so.
I still don't know like if this was planned because they definitely just recently added a new like mechanic to the parades.
I mean, yeah, but also like it could have been a thing where like hey, we want to get SIF2 up and running, give it a couple of weeks, and then, hey, we're going to just roll everything into that game and we don't need this other game anymore.
Right. I'm just wondering if like the developers didn't know until recently
Yeah,
because
it's
like
questionable.
why would you start adding in new mechanics if you know that it's going to end? It seems kind of weird.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's one of those things I guess like we'll never know the answer to because it's a very weird abrupt announcement of the game
Yeah.
ending, and they really
Um
didn't give much reasoning behind it outside of like we just want to roll everything into SIF2 and it's hard to make a game.
yeah, I mean that seems likely. Although there is one thing that neither of us will ever forgive this game for, and that is SBL.
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 Never doing it again.
It takes so much time. It's not fun.
It was like
Ugh.
fun the first time because it was like, oh, here's this cool multiplayer mechanic that you get to have in the game. And then every time
Yay.
after that, it was just like, God, this is just
Nope.
Makes me want to die.
It sucked. It was not fun.
Let me just spend an hour playing these 9 songs and hoping and waiting for people to get into the lobby and then waiting for the scoring to finish up and just wasting. It's just wasting time, the
It takes
event.
so much time. And I think that's one thing that you bring up that sorry, I just hit the mic because I got excited. Um, since it's kind of been like on the downswing, I guess, like it's been so hard to fill in rooms for SBL
Mm-hmm.
and they won't actually like let you go if you don't have a full room. And I'm just like, God, just let us do it. We're at 8 out of 10. Come on. We've been here for 5 minutes. Um, so that's frustrating. And then,
Mm-hmm.
if anything goes wrong, then like, oh, well, you've been banned for 2 minutes. You gotta
Yeah.
wait. Like,
Clearly,
oh.
it's your fault, not ours. I mean, that's basically why I was like, that SBL event came up recently, and I was like, I'm not doing this. The game's ending. There's no incentive for me to do this. I don't need like 200 to 300 gems. Like, you're already giving me a bud ton to begin with. I don't care.
I did it,
Yeah,
but
because you're a sicko.
you're right. I showed you at the end that like one of the last numbers that I had for a scoring was 666. I was like, you know what? If
Mm-hmm.
that's the way I go out with SBL, I'm happy.
Oh, it was so nice to like not have to deal with SBL. Like, it was just
I
like,
bet.
oh, I don't have to think about it. It's just there, and I'm like not even going into it. It's so good.
Because we used to remind each other all the time, like, hey, did you do your SBL today?
Yep,
Wee.
it was bad.
Yeah, that we
It was
will.
real stinky.
Neither of us liked SBL, and neither of us will forgive them for it.
Nope, it's real bad.
Real bad.
That's the one thing that we can be happy that's dying.
Yeah, if they add SBL into Squad Festival 2, it's like, no, no, stop it.
Get out of here.
Messy.
Get out of here. But yeah. What else is there to talk about with All Stars that we haven't already discussed?
Hmm. I mean, I mentioned the parades already and how they kind of got out of control too, but I don't know. What else do we have to say?
All Stars is dead.
Ripperoni and pepperoni.
Like, yeah, I know you mentioned that we don't need to retread the preservation argument because we did that with School Idol Festival, and it's the same argument. Like, we could just copy and paste what we talked about in there and put it into here, and it would fit extremely well. But it is a big bummer because like those first couple of chapters of the story are just going to be gone, or for seasons of the story, I should say, are going to be gone for good. And like that was a very interesting introduction for Nijigasaki and everything, and like way to introduce all these characters, and it's a different story than what the anime tells you. So like,
Right.
it was neat to have these two different kinds of stories that were the introductions for this group in particular, and like this game's story does a lot better things than I think that the anime does in particular points. So like,
Mm-hmm.
having this go away is going to be a real big bummer because like that's just going to be gone for good. And like we're not gonna be able to like go back and relive it or anything.
Right.
So like that's probably like just the biggest bummer of this game shutting down. Out of everything, I would say.
Yeah, I'm sad about it.
Real stinky.
Real stinky.
But yeah, we have like a month and a half left until the game shuts down.
They've been giving us a lot of pulls, which has been nice, but
Yeah.
um, still won't give me the rubes I want.
But it's also like, we've been talking about it. It's just like, it's cool to get these new cars and everything, but like, it's not like we're going to use them.
Right. Well, that's one thing that I
There's
was
no reason
talking
to.
I think it was even today that I said it. That I was doing a reroll, and I'm like, I mean, even if I am getting like these good cards, like, there's no point.
Yeah, it's just like we're just getting them for like the collection's sake, and then like maybe if there's something that rolls into SIF2 for having cards or levels or whatever they're going to do, because they did say they're going to like do a
Give us some kind of bonus for it.
yeah, there's going to be like a link of something of like they did with SIF essentially that you'll just put into SIF2. But they haven't announced exactly what that's going to be, so we don't really know. But I guess like it doesn't hurt to get more cards. Maybe there'll be something for them in the other game.
Hopefully.
That would be nice.
Yee.
But yeah, like essentially now it's just like doing polls just to up the number of cards you get and just be like, look at my cool collection.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of y'all are going into the team because there's no real use of doing so. But yeah, All Stars are shutting down.
It is.
Hopefully we don't have to like reconvene in 2 months to do this again for something else.
God, I know, right?
That'd be a real big bummer. Oofa doofa. But yeah, we got a month and a half left until they kill it.
Bad.
Yeah, right in the gut.
I will
Yeah.
always have the picture of Ruby flexing on me.
You will. It's a
And
very
that's
good
what I
one.
need in life.
Mm-hmm.
O7s for All Stars.
Salute.
We salute you, All Stars. You will be missed. Not you, SBL.
No, SBL can go die in a fire.
Oh, man.
Oofa doofa. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up this episode of the podcast.
Hmm?
So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Jared and Now Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early, and a whole wealth of bonus content as well. Next week, we'll talk about something else if we can pull ourselves away from playing Zelda enough to talk about something else.
Yeah, that's going to be the hard part.
Mm-hmm.